Hi, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jesse.
And this is the Love Story Podcast.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Love Story Podcast.
Are we rolling already?
We are.
Oh, just like that. It's like you're a professional. Yes, this is the Love Story Podcast. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jesse.
And we are still doing Hot Disney Summer. Which is a little bit harder than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
Not every Disney movie is a love story. Mm-hmm. And the love stories are sometimes just cut and dry. Or some of them are like a strange love story, like between Pongo and Purdy, the Dalmatians, or whatever.
This is true.
And then you have to talk about what are their chances and who would be better suited for Pongo.
Who do you think would be?
Better suited for Pongo? I was thinking about that. He's kind of like a slow and steady. He shows up, he takes care of business, fights for his family. I think Pocahontas.
I wouldn't have.
You would not have put Pocahontas with the Dalmatian?
I thought our only options would have been like Lady.
No, because you have to think of personality. If Pongo was a human, he'd be like a Tom Hanks.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Shows up, takes care of business. Should we just talk about Pocahontas right now?
Sure, yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah, that one was one that you've had on your mind for quite a while to do.
Just because of the story behind it.
But as it comes out, the story behind it is 100% fake and of course, whitewashed exactly as we would have expected. And
yeah, a lot different than I thought it was.
Yeah, definitely not a romance. Yeah. Do you want to do the story behind it first, or do you want to do what actually happened?
I don't really know. Apparently, I don't know much about the story behind it.
We don't really know much about the story behind it in general because it's other than this fictionalized story, it's basically just like a couple of sentences. Let's reveal that at the end for what we know as a couple of folks. What drew you to the story of Pocahontas?
Originally?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't remember the first time I saw it. I didn't see it until it was definitely not a staple in our house.
I dressed up as Pocahontas for Halloween that year. So, yeah. Which would not a good thing to do today.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
I should say that I am keeping my phone on in the event that... Because we pack everything into the very last minute. And maybe we could do but we're just such busy people and we've got so much going on. Also, we pack everything into the very last minute and...
Very unorganized.
Yeah. I would say if our biggest critiques from me about us as a couple is very unorganized. We definitely don't do a lot of the things that we say that we're going to do, and we kick the can down the road as far as we possibly can.
Yes.
Speaking of kicking the can down the road, I just got a text message that we need to do your art crawl application. When our lives are bothering other people, then we really need to
buckle down.
Go into hiding is what I was going to say. But yeah.
We can do that too.
So yes, if my phone is going off and if I look like I'm distracted, it's only because I'm trying to do...
Because your phone is going off and you're distracted.
Exactly.
Yes.
With good reason. So... The Pocahontas story, I don't remember it being anything. You know what? I think for me personally, I liked Pocahontas and we watched it, but like you're saying, it wasn't quite a staple. Yeah. I would say, why wasn't it a staple for me? What were the ones that we watched instead? We would have watched, and to be fair, we had 3 girls to appease. Yes, I'm the ringleader and I'm the boss, so I ultimately get last say. But if I'm trying to be fair and diplomatic with my subjects, sometimes you have to throw them a bone. So... For me, what did we watch instead is we watched things that had brighter colors, better songs, and I say better to a child. The songs of Pocahontas were just not as fun as Little Mermaid, for instance.
Oddly enough, I was really into Snow White. I watched Snow White all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
The dwarves. The dwarves are what did it for you. The dwarves are kind of, they're plucky and fun.
Thirsty? Have a drink. And she kicks the... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I watch that all the time.
Did you watch it with your siblings? Or
no,
it was just
by
little
myself.
Jess?
Yeah.
Little Jess sitting down in his tidy whities and a bowl of cereal? And
If we could afford cereal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Malt-o-meal?
Yeah.
I like malt-o-meal. I like malt-o-meal better than oatmeal.
For the value.
And also, malt-o-meal can go one of 2 ways. You can either go sweet with malt-o-meal or you can go savory with malt-o-meal.
You're talking malt-o-meal, like the
wet cereal?
Oh.
No, yeah, malt-o-meal.
Yeah, we never had that.
You never had malt-o-meal?
I mean, I have, but...
We had it all the time, and it was a staple when the kids were growing up, too, because it's cheap, and you would get it with food stamps or, WIC or whatever. You could get malt-o-meal. God, I made the heck out of malt-o-meal for these kids.
Doctored it up.
Sure did. I really like it. Anyway, that's enough about... That's malt-o-meal hour with with the old Ash. Back to Pocahontas. Yeah, why did we not watch Pocahontas? Because and Pocahontas was fun. Her relationship with her friend was fun, and the beginning scene. But it got pretty heavy pretty quick. And I think similar to Hunchback of Notre Dame, what is it that kids don't want? To be faced with the harsh reality of life.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, perhaps Disney knew what they were doing because now millennials care a little bit more. And that's the kind of stuff that we grew up on. But
That's to say that Disney was trying to get people to care.
But I don't know, similar to when we watched Aladdin, we're just a couple of non-religious white European mutts. So what is our opinion really?
Yeah.
But I was kind of surprised now that we're old and we watch TV with subtitles and how many times they were talking about, even just to say praise Allah
You're talking about Aladdin now?
Yeah, from Aladdin.
Yeah.
So it was like, Disney they kept it in, like they added that in
they didn't skirt around it.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I would be interested to hear somebody else's take on it who's more in the know. But as far as Pocahontas goes, we enter the scene and she's just out being goofy and jumps off.
Checking out, just taking on the sights.
Yep. And jumps off a waterfall.
She's a nature lover.
And then her friend in the boat, in the canoe, is...
Because her father's back from battle.
And they were battling, I assume, a neighboring tribe, is what it sounded like. And now the warriors are back, and they're going to have a big feast, and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, get my daughter. And come to find out that her mom is dead, which a lot of Disney characters' moms are dead. And as someone who grew up without a dad, I was... Maybe Disney was my dad. Maybe Triton and Pocahontas' dad and all of these characters were just teaching me a little something. The Sultan?
Yeah, the Sultan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. I guess I never thought about it that way. Look at that. I've got at least, 20 different fatherly characters. 20 different dads.
Interesting.
Yeah. But Pocahontas,
Beauty and the Beast. It's another one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Crazy Old Maurice. He's a good one. He was one of my faves. Oh. But none of them could tuck me into bed at night.
Wow.
So Pocahontas, warriors come back, and here they are. But then we get pretty much into it, too, with this new threat that comes in, the Europeans, the British. And so the true first opening scene is when we've got all of the
For glory, something gold in the Virginia Company.
Yes. We're gonna kill the savages in the Virginia Company. They just casually throw around a lot of real tough stuff in their opening song. And it's a couple of Scottish guys and some British guys and this Governor Ratcliffe or whatever and his little dog Percy, and they're all boarding the ship and then
John Smith, who sounds totally just American.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. In the America that hasn't existed yet.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, do you know who voices John Smith?
Mel Gibson.
Yes. That was a moment. Somebody had asked me that. It was like a trivia thing. Just say, I don't even know how it came up or why, but it was brought up who voiced John Smith. And I was like, God, I don't know. I have no... Mel Gibson. And it was... My brain went to a place before I even thought the conscious thought. And I don't know why I knew that in the very depths of my brain. And Mel Gibson, John Smith, does not sound like the Mel Gibson... If you know that it's Mel Gibson, you're like, oh, I guess that's Mel Gibson. But it's not a very distinct Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson just has white man voice.
Yeah, true. Interesting.
Old, middle-aged white man voice.
Yeah.
So that was just a fun little fun fact that my brain can conjure something up without needing to be.
You're very smart.
Thank you.
Thank
you for noticing. So we've got Mel Gibson and his troop, and they're coming across to conquer because this Governor Radcliffe needs to prove himself. This is his one last chance. This is one chance. Fancy. Don't let the Brits down.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious how he's like telling them to keep working and they're all dancing, spinning in circles with the dirt because they're digging for gold. I thought that was pretty funny.
A performance is still work.
Yeah, true.
What are we here for if not to sing a little song, dance a little dance, and then dig a little gold that doesn't exist apparently.
Yeah.
So he names their encampment Jamestown in the New World and then goes right off to start scouring the land to kill the locals. And John Smith goes walking around and bumps into Pocahontas. Is kind of like, what's going on? She's like, I had a dream and I've got this these feelings, these vibes. What am I going to do about it?
What direction am I supposed to go? Her dream is a spinning arrow that stops and she doesn't know where it's pointing.
And then the white man comes, the pale visitors, they called them. And so then she goes off and pretty much immediately meets John Smith, and they're just like, yeah, we can communicate together.
Because the grandmother, what is it? Grandmother Willow
Yes.
tells her,
listen with your
heart. And then
Isn't
all
that
of a sudden
song?
she can.
You should listen. Yeah, I'm sure.
And then all of a
listen to
sudden
your heart is not a grandmother Willowism only.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she goes off and they start communicating right away, learning each other's language. Hello, shake hands.
Instantaneously.
Yeah.
They just know how to speak.
Because when you listen with your heart, then you understand the people around you.
Yeah.
And then she was supposed to marry Kocoum. That's what
Who was so serious.
Yes.
He's a warrior.
Yeah. Which, I'm not a big Pocahontas John Smith fan. I get it. I get that John Smith is like, I love you and whatever, but it's also, what about Pocahontas do you love? Because he was stopped dead in his tracks at the waterfall when he saw her. It was like, yeah, she's like a beautiful cartoon, and he's like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed cartoon, and he's, whoa.
There's a lot of that in these movies, though. This is just like they just instantly fall in love with each other.
Love at first sight.
There's no real reason why. Yeah.
Arguably, they have nothing in common. And the pressure of the people around you not wanting you to be together is, okay, so in that case then, could John Smith just join her people and fit in? And no. And also
bring all kinds of new diseases to them.
And then the pressures of like her people not liking her being with this guy and whatever. That's a lot to overcome. Yeah. And then is she going to go join his people in Europe? No. Also no. So the same thing with the Little Mermaid. Are you going to come be a fish, or am I going to come be a human? It's like one of you has to leave everything behind, and also not in a way of just, oh, we can go like, we just go to Montana instead and we'll start our own little thing. No, it's like you have to one of you has to completely immerse yourself. And that's a really
that would be quite the challenge.
Yeah. Even we've had issues of our own, just like with having to immerse ourselves in to each other's lives.
Mixed family and stuff like that. Yeah.
And having a business and having to take my two, your one, come together. And then, and we have issues. I couldn't imagine if you were just like, if you had abandoned everything, or if I had to abandon everything to be together. And also, if that's the case, if you have to abandon everything to be together, is the relationship worth it? Is that really the person for you? What is Pocahontas gaining by falling in love with this John Smith character? Where does the future lie?
Yeah, it's an interesting take. Sure.
It's the whole premise of a wedding, and when you have people around you that are like, the whole idea of it is, look at all of these people that are here to support you. So when you are inevitably tested in your marriage, these are the people that you turn to. These are the ones that you invited here today. Yeah. And so you've got nobody essentially, and you have to go live alone. So I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the John Smith Pocahontas story. I'm not a big fan of the love at first sight story. And I'm not really a big fan of the whole what Disney tees up as a romance.
Yeah.
But that's why we're picking it apart in hot Disney.
Disney summer. But back to the story.
Yes, back to the story. So what else? What do we got?
John Smith is coming over. They're exploring. He's just a kid in a candy store when he sees the beautiful shore.
Landscape.
Jamestown. That's in Virginia?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been to Virginia. But it looks nice.
I've been to West Virginia, I think.
Yeah.
It does look nice. The East Coast, I would imagine the cartoon East Coast looks nice.
Yeah.
Appalachians.
Yeah, so we see that, and then Pocahontas' tribe is aware that they're there, and
everyone's banished from seeing everybody.
Yeah.
You stay with your people, and then the Europeans are like, you stay with your people.
Kocoum is like, let's attack.
Yes.
Chief is like, no, we need to see what they're all about.
Yeah.
And then a battle does ensue.
It ends up because Pocahontas and John Smith have snuck off to go. They disobeyed each other's camp's orders and went off. And Kocoum followed Pocahontas.
Kocoum did?
Yeah, because that was how they all found themselves over by the river. Was Kocoum had followed Pocahontas, and he saw Pocahontas and John Smith making out. And then Thomas saw John Smith. So General Radcliffe was like, or Governor Radcliffe was like, follow him.
You've failed me.
Yeah.
Don't do it again.
Basically, you're a terrible excuse for a man and a soldier. It was like he did this, where he was like, follow him, Thomas. And Thomas was like,
yes, sir.
And then he was like, cool. And then he walked away. And then he was like, oh, by the way, you're a terrible excuse for a soldier and a man, so don't let me down.
Yes, sir.
And then that was he He was going to do what you were going to make him do
Right,
anyway.
yeah.
Because you really need to come back and...
But Radcliffe's not a real nice guy.
No, that's true. He does not appreciate song and dance.
The way he should.
But perhaps it's because he's not so nimble on his feet.
Yeah.
His physical shape does indicate that... But maybe he's like a Chris Farley type, and he's just able to...
But he says he has a crick in his back.
You're right. That was a key plot point. So he definitely is... He is suffering. So perhaps that is... He is just jealous of the lads.
I'd love to join you guys.
Yeah.
This crick in my back.
But forever the wallflower. Yeah. He didn't think to bring a European chiropractor with him.
Yeah.
So now he must just sit in his tent with his little pug bathing, and dreaming about the performance that will never be.
That's tough. It's gotten really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he'll persevere, I think.
Yeah, I think he will.
What do you think Radcliffe would need to be happy? And who would he be?
Glory.
Who would his lady love be?
Oh my gosh. Ursula.
That was my thought too. But Ursula's already betrothed to the Beast.
Oh, that's right. What
I
are
have
our
one.
options? The witch from Snow White.
I like him with Cruella de Vil more. She's got a mission.
I could see that. Sure.
She's got a mission, and she will stop at nothing. And they both are very okay with murder.
Yeah.
For her, it's puppies, and for him, it's humans of any kind and type. And he does like dogs. Ooh, well,
That might cause a problem.
that might cause a problem.
Yeah.
However, the dogs that she's after are not little pugs.
Right.
So it could be...
But the seasons change. Maybe she's,
That does look like a nice little
I want a pug
skin.
purse.
Pug skin muff?
Yeah. I didn't know that's what that was called.
Muff?
Muff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fashion staple.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The muff.
I've never had one.
I have never either, but I have desperately wanted a muff. A hand
Really?
muff. Yes. Yes, I have.
A pug muff?
No, because pugs, much like what we know now with basset hounds,
Yeah.
there's an odor around them. Pugs stink. They've got their wrinkles. Basset hounds stink. I think if I was to make a pet skin muff, a chinchilla muff would be optimal, I would say. Or a faux
probably.
chinchilla muff, since we're
Yes.
animal rights activists.
Yes, we are for.
I wouldn't say we are for animal rights. I would not say that we are like crazy activists, because as we've already indicated, we've got too much to do and not enough time to do it. So we would just be letting the serious animal rights activists down. But I would say we're an animal rights ally.
Sure. Yeah, that's accurate.
Yes. We are pro animal rights. We are an ally. If you need us to show up to your march, depends on what we got going on. If you need us to provide food and drinks for your march, of course, we'll donate all day.
Yeah.
As long as it's a cause that also aligns with us.
Yeah.
And we are pro animal rights.
Absolutely.
So a faux chinchilla muff would be my go-to.
Fair enough.
So yes, I think Cruella de Vil would be a good. I think
Match
she would be a
for
good match
Radcliffe.
for Radcliffe, unless at least they would date for sure. Whether they're going to end up together.
Yeah, because they both have some power issues, some control issues.
They do. That would be a really tough dynamic.
Yeah.
There are a lot of toxic traits in these Disney villains. And I think the toxic traits of your Pocahontas and John Smith is just everything's going to work out. Like this idea of we can do it on our own. It's the romantic autonomy, which is, I think, what's the word I'm looking for? Unrealistic. Romantic autonomy is unrealistic.
Yeah.
Because where else are you
agree.
getting,
Yeah,
you know?
It takes an army type thing.
Yeah.
Or it takes a village type thing, whatever.
Yes.
However the saying goes. Yeah. It takes a village.
It takes an army to raid a village of love.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
So, Pocahontas, John Smith, they fall in love. They are trying to come together in peace and harmony, which, as we know, is pretty unrealistic.
Yeah.
When you've got this group of people who has it in their brain, the propaganda of all around Europe is we got to go conquer and kill, and then you've got these people who are pretty ready to just conquer and kill right away. The king, in the name of the king. And then they have their battle. We stopped watching just because we had to watch 2 movies last night and Pocahontas came second. Do you remember how it ends?
John Smith is hurt and Pocahontas watches him leave, sails off in his boat. So they don't end up together anyway.
And the real life true story is that they don't end up together anyway. So the true story of, and true in quotes, because it's like, who is to say?
Yeah.
But the story as it has been chronicled from the 1600s is 1600 John Smith comes to the New World. Pocahontas would have been like 11 or 12, and they developed like a friendship from the little bit that I found on the internet. They developed a little bit of a friendship, and then they have their little skirmish, whatever. And then it was like, apparently there is like a myth that her dad was going to kill John Smith. And right before he was about to be beheaded, she came running up and was like, no, and like stopped him. That's also not true. Everything is very romanticized. It's not that it's not necessarily true. It's just it's very unlikely that would have happened. So he then spends time trying to develop a relationship, but then he goes and sails back to Europe.
Trying to develop a relationship with her?
No, trying to develop a relationship with the people. And then he sails back to Europe, and then the bummer part of it is then another group of people. So this was in 1609, and then a handful of years later when she's an early teen, another guy, John, what was his name? John Rolfe or something?
I think that's right.
He comes back. Yeah, because she did marry Cocoam. So she marries Cocoam first, and then John Rolfe. So she was married to Cocoam in 1610. What happened to Cocoam? It's the younger brother of the chief.
Cocoam is the younger brother of the chief?
Of a different
chief.
Yeah. And in 1610, he married Pocahontas. So, yeah, he was Chief Japasa. He was the younger brother of Chief Japasa, and then he known as Chief Powhatan. And so then following their marriage, they settled in the village, and they had a daughter, Kaoki, in 1612 when Pocahontas was lured aboard an English ship in 1613 in Jamestown Harbor by a ship captain. She was kidnapped, and the captain had Cocoam killed. So the daughter of Cocoam and Pocahontas was in the village when her mother was kidnapped and her father was killed. She remained and was raised there, and her identity was kept a secret to protect her from being harmed by the English. She took the name Jane and had a child, Christian Pettis, by a man whose last name was Pettis in 1636. According to William Night Owl, a tribal historian, Kaoki's husband was thought to be Colonel Thomas Pettis, or possibly Theodore Pettis, brother of Colonel Thomas Pettis, possibly his son, so married to the Rolfe family. So yeah, so by the sounds of it, so Cocoam was killed. So what I had, this amount of the story that was available in a couple of quick sources didn't say anything about the fact that Cocoam and Pocahontas had a daughter. But yeah, so she ended up getting kidnapped and ended up going to Europe, where she married John Rolfe, and then she ended up dying. She very quickly got sick and died from a disease after she'd been married to John Rolfe, but they had baptized her as Rebecca, so that was her new Christian name, was Rebecca.
Sounds
and then
tough.
she died. Yeah.
Sounds very tough.
Yeah. So that was the tragic story. She died when she was 21, so she lived a very short life. And from the perspective of, I mean, I would be pretty upset if I was like a tribal historian and this Pocahontas story comes out and it's just this romanticized version of the love that happens when these new people come in, and she's just...
It's interesting to think of where it comes from, why they pick what they pick to bring to light,
and to do it in a way that's not historically accurate.
Not even close.
Just to tell a love story that kids aren't asking for.
Yeah.
This whole group of kids is not over here. You know what I really need to see? I need to see a love story from two people from two different walks of life that just can't, they have to abandon their entire family, upset the whole family order, abandon everything just to make this love story happen.
It's wild.
Yeah. Being served up to children. So, yeah, that's the bummer side of things.
For sure.
I wonder what the rest of the story is. So...
I know in the movie The New World, I can't remember his name, but it seems a little more realistic. I don't even know that he's John Smith in it, but it's more about her being taken to England, and she just does not enjoy it.
I think that's The New World in Pocahontas 2. It was like set up to be...
I've never seen it.
I think I maybe saw it one time. But the premise of Pocahontas 2 is she goes to the New World and could imagine is not having a good time. And John Smith doesn't come back. It's not a John Smith story. It's a John Rolfe story then after that.
It is?
They tried to go a little bit historically more
Interesting.
accurate, but still with the whitewashed, look at how everything could be version.
Yeah.
When really at the time she had a daughter and a husband. Cocoam didn't die. He was her husband. Which, it's all just it's a tragic story. And Disney waffled between tragic story, Hunchback at Notre Dame, and then you have Aladdin, and then you have Pocahontas, and then you have, what would have been one of the ones that came after that? They go back and forth. Oh, Tarzan. Well, but Tarzan was a tragic story too.
Tarzan was later, wasn't it?
Let me see.
2001
Disney
or
movie
something.
timeline. I don't think so. I think it was 98. Disney movie timeline. Okay, so we have chronological. Oh, but Hercules was a good one. Oh, no, that's the chronological story of when they took place. No. List of Disney theatrical animated release. Okay, films. We have Snow White, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, Bambi. A bunch of weird ones. The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Have you seen that one? Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland. Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty, 101 Dalmatians, Sword in the Stone, Mary Poppins Jungle Book, Aristocats, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Have you seen that one? Robin Hood is also a good one. Rescuers, Pete the Dragon, Fox and the Hound, Black Cauldron, Great Mouse Detective, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Oliver and Company, Little Mermaid. So
Who
Little
Framed
Mermaid,
Roger Rabbit was...
that's a pretty effed up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Little
Out
Mermaid
there.
in 89, Beauty and the Beast in 91, Aladdin was 92, Nightmare Before Christmas was 93, Lion King was 94, A Goofy Movie 95, Pocahontas was also 95, then Hunchback of Notre Dame was 96, Hercules was 97. So we had
When was Tarzan?
Mulan was 98, Tarzan was 99. Yep.
We were right in the middle.
Yep. And then Emperor's New Groove. I think they put on this timeline, though, it's not what was historically related to Disney only, because they're also putting out Pixar. Did Disney own Pixar right away?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So they've got, yeah. So they're just
Toy
putting
Story
out.
was just Pixar.
So they're talking. This list is talking about everything that would have been the Disney company of today. Anyhow, there you have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of bummers, lots of sadness.
And hot Disney summer.
Hot Disney summer. Who would you prefer to see Pocahontas with?
Tarzan.
Pocahontas and Tarzan. I could see that because they both have just an appreciation. Tarzan's got a little bit of the trauma of being raised by animals and his parents were killed.
Yeah.
And Pocahontas has a much more stable life, but they have that same zest and love of goofing around.
Nature and...
Yeah. I could see that. I like Tarzan and Pocahontas together. So far, we have Tarzan and Pocahontas together. I think they would have much better chances.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who is the ultimate man? Disney man. I asked you who would win in a parkour match, Tarzan or Aladdin.
Yeah.
But who's
It
the
depends on
ultimate-
if it's urban
ultimate
or
Aladdin hero or
ultimate Disney hero.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about young ladies having a crush, or are we talking about just overall who embodies?
Like resourceful and
Yeah, just define what.
that's I was thinking about that while we were watching Pocahontas. Who's
Embodies everything that. So what does, in your mind, what does Disney stand for then? What is it that they're serving up?
what do they stand for and what are they serving up are probably two different.
So what is it? What would you, if you're asking me, who is the epitome of?
The ultimate Deuteronomy.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
Are we talking brute force? Who's the best strongman?
Let's go
Are we
with that.
talking about masculinity? Who represents Disney masculinity?
Let's do brute force first.
Gaston is brute force.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty
What about
much.
Hercules.
Oh, Hercules.
Yeah,
Hercules would be a
is
good one.
brute force.
Yeah. If we're talking the full package, if we're talking who's
Who's the best guy? The best all around guy. How about that?
Robin Hood. Robin Hood the Fox.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I had quite a crush on Robin Hood the Fox.
Yeah.
Yes. And Aladdin. Aladdin is a pretty good one, too. And I'm excited to talk about that one next because that one's that's a good story, too.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I'd say Robin Hood the Fox is definitely, because he's cunning and he fights for good and not evil. And he's just in love with his lady love. And he's just out there with his band of merry misfits and they're just out there trying to take care of the people.
Absolutely.
Robin Hood the Fox is the epitome of...
I haven't seen that one a ton.
We're going to have to watch that one again. That's another good one. The songs of Pocahontas they're beautiful and like now being like an old lady watching them. I like the cinematography of it all now, but at the time it did not appeal to me, the child, especially when we're growing up on Lisa Frank and we've got more earth tones and whatever. Pocahontas had to compete with not only every other Disney movie when you're thinking about the ones that had come out previously where you do have your Little Mermaid, which is fun music, bright colors. And then you've got Aladdin and you've got all these, the fun things of it.
Yeah.
And then peak Lisa Frank.
Yeah.
How do you compete when you're just serving up browns and greens? Lose.
Yeah.
Kids are used to Fruity Pebbles, Fruit Loops, Lisa Frank. The millennial child was not set up to appreciate Pocahontas the way that they should.
This is true.
But now as an adult, I liked the music and whatever, but still, as far as like catchy, one jump ahead of the hitman.
Yeah, Aladdin was a good.
Yes.
Was a good one.
Yeah. And Little Mermaid and Tarzan had a great score as well. However, again, something that children are not set up to appreciate.
For,
yeah.
Sure.
I speak to any child in that day and age and say, what do you think of Phil Collins? And it's just like, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Pocahontas and John Smith's chances, not great. As a more of an abuse of power relationship and not a actually in love with each other. More of a, like, I think a bit of a kind of a Stockholm syndrome of this, these people are coming in and you're trying to make the best out of a bad situation.
And it's just like something, it's just because it's new and flashy and different.
But is it something that's going to actually stand the test of time? No. No. I would put their chances at -0.
-0.
Yep. There's no possibility. So there you have it. But I think I like Pocahontas with. Did we say who we want Pocahontas
Tarzan.
with? Tarzan. That's right. Yes. I like Pocahontas and Tarzan. That's a good one. He could have swung off the ship and gone right into the village and they would have been like, oh, not only is this guy like nothing like these pale visitors, but he is like one with the land, appreciates what we're doing here. He grew up in a jungle.
Yeah.
So similar but different. And he's just out there just zest for life, being a goofball.
There you go.
Yep, that's what Pocahontas needs.
That's what she needs.
Okay, there you have it. Thanks for listening to our take on Pocahontas as we are in the midst of our
hot
Disney
summer.
Okay, bye.
And now a word from our sponsor, Chaz James from Premier Real Estate Services.
I've had way more happy than I have had sad. It's just the sad moments really do stick out.
Yeah, for sure.
We absolutely love this home. You've walked in and you started bringing furniture in mentally and painting walls, and you've called cousins that owe you favors and all of these things. And then you get outbidded by somebody that went 30 points higher than what the house was worth, and that's a heartbreaker. And this is very much a love story. The idea that there are some homes that you walk into and you can look at them and make a business decision, and then there are homes that you walk into and you just fall in love with.
Yeah.
And as long as I can get you to the altar with then we're good to go. Hello world, I'm Chaz James with Premier Real Estate, Minnesota's favorite West Indian realtor. I want to be your real estate hype man.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Love Story Podcast.
Be sure to leave us a rating and review and subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes.